And welcome back to another weekend here on the Big Man's Report Live podcast. I am your host, Blake Rossell. Thank you all for joining me this week. I have a great show in store for you guys. In just a few moments, we're gonna get to this week's program and introduce my guest. But before we start, like I always do, I'd like to announce my sponsors who make this show possible. They do a great job in their businesses, and they really do a great job supporting my show. So I like to always give them a shout out. Direct Core and Auto Parts. If you visit cashinyourcores.com, best in the business, and the Borghese family in the tri-state area, PA, New Jersey, New York, you name it. If you're looking to sell used auto parts, trade in used auto parts, visit cashinyourcores.com. Speak to my man Angelo, tell him the big man sent you. And again, that is cashinyourcores.com on the web, and you can visit their Facebook page as well, Direct Core and Auto Parts LLC. Don't forget to check them out. Biggest buyers of used auto parts and scrap in the tri-state area again, and you want to give them a good look, and you won't be let down. Thank you to the Borghese family. Versus Bakery of Turnersville, Margate, and Brigantine. Stop on in, tell Ralph the big man sent you. Best Italian food, sandwiches, pasta dishes, homemade, and you name it. Versus Bakery has it all. Fresh seeded rolls for your sandwiches, hoagies, whatever you guys call them. They have the best. Visit Versus down in Margate, Turnersville, or Brigantine. The summer's here now, so you want to get down to the shore on Margate and Brigantine. Stop on into Versus Bakery for some fresh deli sandwiches, dinners, or check out their bakery. The best over at Versus Bakery. Blazer Masters Training Academy of Northfield, 1225 West Mill Road. Looking to sign up your child for a class or a team? Stop on down 1225 West Mill Road and stop on in and talk to Tracy, or call 609-383-9594. And also attached to Blazer Masters Training Academy of Northfield, we have South Jersey All Sports. Looking to rent a batting cage, baseball turf facility, whatever you name it, weight agility training, South Jersey All Sports has it all there for you. Thomas C. Rossell, attorney at law. Looking for a criminal attorney? Get in trouble? Call 609-204-0043. Happens to be my father, but Tom's one of the best in the area, serving Atlantic, Cape May, Gloucester, and Camden counties in South Jersey. Give Tom a call. First consultation is free, or email him at tcrlaw.com. Richie's Hoagies of Philadelphia. The Pagliarella family for 25 years has been having great success in their business. Great Italian hoagies, which are known for. Best sell deli meat sandwiches, all in the Philadelphia area. They're looking to franchise other locations as well. They have 2 locations right now, one down in South Philly, 11th and Adams Street, and up in Center City, Philly, 1825 Callow Hill Street. Get on down to Richie's Hoagies for a great sandwich. And also they're expanding to West Philadelphia, Charlotte, North Carolina, and also Wilmington, Delaware. Stop on in to Richie's Hoagies. Dino's Subs and Pizza of Margate. You're down the shore looking for a sandwich, slice of pizza, stop on into Dino's, serving the family business for many, many years, many generations. It's a staple in Margate City, New Jersey. Coming off the beach, grab yourself a sandwich at Dino's. Punchline Philly Comedy Club. I want to also mention that I just recently teamed up with them, bringing some of the best comics in the area to the city of Philadelphia. Punchline Philly. Visit their website, punchlinephilly.com. Find them on Facebook and Instagram. Looking to buy tickets for one of the comics coming in. You want to definitely join their comedy shows and stop on in and see them as well. Now, thank you to all my sponsors. Let's get to the show here on the Big Man's Report Live podcast. Again, I am your host, Blake Rossell. And again, I want to thank everybody for joining me this week. I have a great guest. If you're a movie buff, you've seen him on the big screen. You see him in a lot of big movies. I haven't had the chance to speak with this gentleman over the last few weeks. I'm glad we were able to set up a show. You name it, he's appeared on Netflix, some of your biggest programs, HBO's, you name it. He's been all over the screen. And also he does a lot of other work that we're going to talk about. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce my main man, Garry Pastore, for coming on the program. How you doing, Garry?
What's going on, big man?
Thanks for making the trip down here. I'm glad I'm able to get you in here.
Hey, brother, we're in the same state. It wasn't that bad. We're close to Philly, but not too bad.
Yeah, you're in Central Jersey, up north a little bit, right? Or
I don't know what
North
they
Jersey?
call it. I know that they started to break down Jersey, you know, in central midsection. I'm between, I guess, I don't know. I don't know if I'm a Benny because I'm really in the central part of the state. So I don't know if that constitutes Benny. I thought it was always like Brooklyn. They stood for Brooklyn, Elizabeth, Newark, and New York. That's what I thought Benny stood for, but you never know. But I'm not a Benny.
Everyone from Jersey, people go back and forth. There's a South Jersey, there's a North Jersey, now is there a Central Jersey? And
I guess, yeah, it's central.
Yeah, you could say it, right? I mean, you figure there is part of Jersey that's, I guess you could say, in the middle, right?
It is, technically.
Yeah, technically.
I keep my boat down in Brick, so I'm about 40 minutes from that.
Okay.
That's about it, man. I'm a big Jersey boy, though. Love it.
So you moved to Jersey, but you're originally born in New York, Staten Island?
Yeah. It's called the Italian conga line. Start in Brooklyn, dun, 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 dun. Go to Staten Island, dun, 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 dun. I went to Manhattan. I was there for a spell. Then I moved back to Staten Island. Why, I don't know. And then I moved to Jersey. But this was all 25 or more years ago.
So started in New York, did the whole dance and spiel, and then you made your way over to Jersey.
Yeah. I had to, you know, being in New York City at the time was very important for my career.
Sure.
I wasn't meeting anybody in the boroughs. You know, it's pretty much you got to be in it to win it. And I moved to Manhattan probably, I think it was in my 20s, early 20s. And I got a job in restaurants that I knew frequented a lot of celebrities. But I really struck pay dirt when I started working at this place called Columbus on Columbus Avenue. I started the night the Mets won the World Series.
Wow. What year was this, Garry?
October 26, 1986, I started working there. And I was pissed because I'm a big Met fan. Sorry. And I couldn't watch the game. My friends were all going to the bars to watch it on the TV, and I was stuck at work. And I remember glancing at it at the bar, you know. I was like the doorman host, so it was kind of hard to leave my post. A lot of celebrities came in there. In fact, that night, I don't remember, but I think Bono was there and U2. And so the Mets won, and I remember all the horns beep, and I was kind of bummed out. I was like, man, I want to watch my team win. About an hour and a half after the game, these two limos pull up. All the Mets got out and came into the restaurant. So I hung out with the New York Mets the night they won the World Series.
How about that?
It was amazing, and I became friends with a bunch of them.
Yeah.
But that was my first night of work, and that's when I moved to the city. You know, life in a big city, they tell you.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, too, like, I feel like New York City, they call it, what, the Big Apple? They call it, like you said, the city never sleeps. So much going on in New York. I like New York. I mean, I've been up there, you know, since I was a kid, you know, travel back and forth. And growing up in South Jersey, you know, it was only like 2.5 hours, you know, without traffic. So it wasn't too far of a ride for me. But New York, it's got it going on. You know, like you said, you meet a lot of people in New York. You could get kind of connected. A lot of different businesses or companies or like I guess what talent agencies they call them in acting and all that. So
yeah, but the business has changed and shifted a lot. I was just out in L.A.
Okay.
And L.A.'s hurting. You know, it was kind of sad because I stayed out there for a spell, as most actors do, and my old haunts are closed down. They're shuttered. The industry, I remember you couldn't drive down Hollywood Boulevard or you know, one of the main drags without seeing it, you know, the Coens and the productions vehicle set up, and there's none of that. It's pretty dead. So what I did find out is everybody's coming to Jersey. I mean, Netflix just broke dirt on this big studio down in Monmouth, and Lionsgate, I think, is putting one up in Bayonne.
Oh, wow.
So I heard there's 49 films and TV shows going to Lens this summer. Spielberg is out here finishing up a film. It seems like Jersey's becoming the hot spot, which I love. I mean, I'm happy about it.
Yeah, and that's pretty interesting. You know, and two, they actually shot some scenes of that new Bob Dylan movie that came out. They shot that down in Cape May.
Yes, my friend.
Yeah.
My friend was the set decorator on it.
Oh, wow.
Did a wonderful job. And actually the whole film looked great, you know.
Yeah.
So, I'm kind of in awe that New Jersey's starting to get on the map. But there's so much here.
Right.
Shoot in Jersey City, it looks like the city. You shoot Newark, it could be Brooklyn. You got the shore, you got farmland.
Yeah,
you got everything you want. So,
yeah, it's one thing about Jersey. It's especially North Jersey is really busy, like population wise.
It is.
Always said that too. Like South Jersey's kind of more like down in like Atlantic City area or further south to the bottom of New Jersey. It's like kind of like real. You could say more relaxed, slower pace. A lot of vacationers. Mm-hmm. Whereas you go up North Jersey, it's all hustle and bustle. Lots of people, a lot of money up there too. And you got New York City right across the pond there. So, you're right. Like you said, New Jersey's starting to make a little bit of a name for itself on the map.
Yeah, I heard a lot of actors and directors from the West Coast are going to start to call Jersey home. I guess that's good for a lot of it. I know Netflix opening up, that's got to do great for the infrastructure around it,
Wow.
hotels and restaurants and whatnot.
That's great. It
is good for the state. It really is. The tax program is great for the state. And listen, I think it's very important to talk to you, those running for mayor on both sides of the aisle on how they feel about the tax credits. I've been trying to talk to Bill Spadia, John Bramnick, who happens to be my attorney.
Wow.
And I don't know, what's his name? Ciccarelli?
Jack Ciccarelli.
Ciccarelli.
Yeah.
I don't really know him, but I would tell everybody this, is that see how they feel about the film tax credit, because it's important that films stay here.
Sure.
I got a couple I want to shoot in Jersey, and the reason I want to shoot them, is my hometown, hometown boy, home state, whatever. And I just want to see it flourish. I think it'd be great for the state.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's a good point too. Like, we do have the big election coming up, the governor's race, and that's a good point. You bring that up, Gary. A lot of people don't realize that stuff plays a huge role. I mean, obviously in people's homes and businesses and stuff like that, the tax brackets and the taxation. But then again, for those in the film industry, right? That's important too, that we look at that angle as well.
It absolutely is. I'm not a big fan of Governor Murphy, but I will say him bringing film back to New Jersey was a huge, huge thing. So, if he was starting to tip the cup this way with me, when he did that, he started to balance it out a little bit. Because, listen, I'm a big advocate. I've been in the film business my entire life. Before I was a chef, I went to chef school, but after that, I went to film school, and I became synonymous with film and television, and I love it, and I want to see that it does flourish here.
That's awesome. Yeah, so let's hope all checks off, and we can start doing a lot of films here in the state.
Well, I think they will.
Yeah, and I think too, with more people behind it, and more there's a lot of people kind of pushing the buttons and kind of like pushing it forward. I think it's going to be a good turnout. Hopefully, you know what I mean.
I think so, and especially you start to see the celebrities buy homes here, and again, it all helps the infrastructure of the state.
Yeah,
they live here, they spend money here.
Right, and a lot of actors may start moving here too, or getting a place here.
Well, a lot of them
from California,
yeah.
But so that's all. We'll get into that too a little bit. But that's a great point you bring up, and that's great to hear from New Jersey that we're bringing a lot of films to the state. So kind of back it up a little bit with what you said. You were working when the Mets won the World Series in '86. You were working in New York. What made you, as a young kid, what made you want to get into acting? Did you always know from a young age, or that developed as you got older? You said you were a chef originally, right? Culinary school?
Yeah, I went to culinary school after high school. In high school, I was in a band. I had long hair. We played a lot of rock and roll music. We played at this place, Party Time Pizza, I remember. It was like a teenage hangout. Mm-hmm. No drinking, obviously. And then, I graduated, started doing clubs and stuff. And my drama coach in high school said he wanted me to do, he saw me sing, he wanted me to audition for Tony in West Side Story. And I said, yeah, I'll do it, but I ain't cut my hair. And I said, go, I cut my hair, and I played Tony. And it was great. It was rewarding, and then I started doing some soap operas, which I didn't like. I don't know, I guess I found the writing kind of off-putting. But I like theater. I like performing. I mean, most actors, you'll ask them, like Jack Nicholson or whatever, and you say, well, why'd you do it? And usually we come from lives where, not to get into my past life, but we needed a release, some type of way to expel whatever we got going on inside us. And most of it comes from childhood.
Right.
Robin Williams, most of the guys, like Robin, rest in peace. I loved him. He was a great guy, but he had a sad, deep, dark something going on inside of him that people don't see. They think, you think that the public really knows you, but they don't know you.
Right.
And they don't know what drives you to go out and want to be a performer. It's like a clown in a circus. Most of them are not happy people.
Yeah.
And I particularly don't like clowns. But I get it. I get it. It's usually a child. It comes from, I think, childhood of you not being able to express yourself, whether it's coming from a big family or there's some kind of abuse going on in the family, be it physical or even verbal abuse is damaging to children, calling you kids stupid or whatever.
Yeah.
Years ago, when I was a kid, you got a beating. And in a way, I guess, I hate to say it, but the way of the world nowadays, I have children, and there's a couple of times I wanted to give them but I know I couldn't. But when I was a child, I know if I was out of line, I'd get cracked, and I didn't do it again.
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword, Yeah. And as far as performing goes, I think that's why a lot of performers perform. They have something going on inside of them that needs to show a release of whatever. Then there you have those that are pure narcissists that want to be famous, that want to walk around. I want to be discovered. I don't have the patience for those folks. I really don't. And no offense if I've been off-putting to a lot of people that I've met through the years because of that. That's probably why.
Right.
Is that you're not down to earth. There's nothing natural about, like you and I are having a conversation right now. You could be the biggest star on the planet. We'd still have this conversation because I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care about celebrity. I just don't. I've met everybody. I met Frank Sinatra. I met Mick Jagger. I met so many people in my lifetime. And every time I shook their hand, it was like shaking the guy next door's hand.
Yeah.
Because I didn't go out of my way to make them feel that, I just acknowledged them, of course.
Right.
I acknowledged their work. I acknowledged who they are as a performer, but I never, ever went above and beyond that. And I think a lot of celebrities like that.
Yeah. So never starstruck you. Like you just kind of, you are who you are, and you respect and you honest work and whatever somebody did in their career, you kind of look at them as like another person is what you're saying. Like you don't really like kind of, like I get what you're saying though. Like some people may like make something out to be, bigger than it really is instead of just looking at somebody for who they are, right?
I was just on the red carpet with George Lucas for the 45th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back in L.A. Okay, I met the man. It was like any other man, but meanwhile the guy is to some people, I think they would tear down walls to have the opportunity to meet him. Me, I just treat everybody the same. You treat me well, I treat you well.
Yeah.
If I feel that somebody's standoffish because they think they're holier than thou or better than me, well, guess what? Okay. Yeah. I don't have to talk to you again.
Yeah.
I always keep it professional.
Sure.
But I am not a Hollywood guy.
Right.
I'm not him. I avoid the parties. I try not to go to too many screenings or rap parties and these events because I sometimes feel out of place, like I don't know how to act. I feel like I'm out of my element, so to speak.
Right.
I just want to be Garry, the regular guy, and sometimes I'm recognized, sometimes I'm not. But I always change my appearance. I got a beard, I don't. Wear glasses, I don't.
Yeah.
I kind of blend in most of the time.
Mm-hmm. But that's too, like, you made a good point I wanted to mention about most of those actors kind of have something that is in their past that gives them that release. You can almost kind of say the same thing for like artists or singers too, right? Maybe they write a song about something that they experienced when they were younger or something that affected their life, or it could be a relationship with a girl or a guy or whatever the case may be. They basically something that draws them to want to write a song.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Look at Bruce. I mean, I know he's a hot topic nowadays. Yeah. I don't like his politics. I don't like the fact that the guy lives in a Republican county in New Jersey on 400 acres of land that he's got tax credits for farming, and he goes to another country and he puts down his president, he puts down the state. I don't dig that. I like his music.
Absolutely, yeah.
But, you know, at some point, get off your soapbox. And there's other actors, and I'm not going to mention them. Shut up. Just go to work, man. Go to work.
Yeah.
Make music, go to work. Listen, everybody has a right to an opinion. But if you live in this country and you've made money in this country, and most of these artists have done very well from this country, and you're going to go out and talk on your soapbox and put down the country, believe me, I don't want you here, and I certainly don't want to be friends with you.
Yeah.
I can't stand that. You know? Love where you come from. Yeah. And respect where you come from. Yeah. And love everybody, and you treat them accordingly.
And that's been a big, and I'm glad you said that, because that's one of the things that I realized too. I mean, you know, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but then again, they have a lot of celebrities or actors, where, you know, or people in general who have a name, they put their 2 cents in, and they kind of say how they feel, and especially the last few years of politics. And it makes, you know, again, you don't want to mention names, but it makes people look at you differently when they say, I loved his work, I loved her work. But why'd she have to talk about what Trump did, or what Trump did, or what Biden? You know what I mean? Like, just in my opinion, just like I said, be grateful of what you do in your lifetime, and your whatever. You know, you're in this country, you make money in this country, you live a good life. You know, and I get what you're saying. Just kind of keep that all to the side, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, who I vote for, how I vote, should have nothing to do with my relationship with you.
Yeah.
You know, I had somebody call my manager about something that I had said on Instagram, and try and get me doxxed, like have my manager fire me because they were upset by one of my comments on a post. And I'm like, are you people for real?
Yeah.
Are you really that deranged in your life? I mean, the divide in this country needs to stop. And not for nothing, Bruce Springsteen. You need to bring people together, not divide them. And that's what he should be singing about. I understand that it's always been his thing and Bono's thing to sing about, you know, things that are unfair. Well, listen, life's unfair. It is. In general, it's unfair. You didn't get asked to be brought into it, you brought into it. And if you've done well in this life, suck it up, buttercup.
Yeah.
Suck it up. There's a lot of people struggling. You've done good. That's the F up, and just play your music or act your act or do your film. But stop. Because the regular people will never have respect for you. And they will never have respect for the industry because they think that you're just some spoiled, pent-up little brat, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
You're acting like a petulant child. Nobody's going to respect that.
Yeah.
So I've done my best to toe the line as best I could. I'm not going to change who I am. You cannot change spots on a leopard. You're not going to grab a guy who's in his 50s and 60s and try and change his mind. It doesn't happen. I'm set in my ways, and that's that. People either like me or they don't.
Yeah.
I want them to like me. I want them to watch my films and shows. So I do go out of my way to be that. But most people that meet me, they see who I am.
Yeah.
Well, you're getting a candid interview right now.
No,
This is who I am. No airs, no BS, just unadulterated, unfiltered me.
Yeah, that's great, and I really admire that you're like that, because again, you don't come across a lot of people nowadays that are like that. You know, they just kind of, they either put on a
facade.
You took the words out of my mouth. A facade or some kind of other presence because they want to be heard, or they think people are going to like them, or they're going to sway somebody one way if they say a certain thing. But no, you actually, like you said, you get more respect being yourself. You don't try to put on a persona for anybody. You know, and I really respect that about just kind of getting to talking with you a little bit, and you know, I can see that from you. You know,
I'm straight up, dude. I'm straight up guy. I'm black and white. There's no gray area, and that's another big problem. And I'll say it straight up. In the last, I'd say 20 to 30 years, when things started to politically, the climate started to change. There's this whole gray area where people are just not straightforward. They're not forthcoming. they'll talk to your face, but they'll talk about you behind your back. I've noticed more of that as I've gotten on in life.
Yeah.
And me, I'm black and white. I am. I could be brash. I have no filter, but I do get a lot more respect that way. You know, my dad was a World War II vet, got shot in service. He was a tough, angry man when he came back from Europe. I didn't know him, obviously, until I started to grow, but, you know, you're talking, I was born 15 years after World War II, or 16 years after World War II ended, and my dad still had a lot of resentment, and do I have a lot of his qualities? Yeah, but and a lot of them are different than him. Like, you know, if I came home and I said, "Hey, Dad, I'm gay," I would have got tossed out of the house. Me, I'm a little bit more, you know. All right, son, if you are, I got you back. Yeah. So I'm different in that respect. But you know, as far as respect and patriotism go, I'm black and white. I'm an easy read. You know, if you can't tell who I am, who I vote for, well, then you're pretty dumb. Yeah. You know, I think I wear my heart on my sleeve, and you respect me for that. And if you don't, well, then fine, I don't want to work with you.
Yeah.
I've done fine in life, thank you. You know, that shows you I don't do this because of what society has to tell me and why I should do it and how I should behave and who I should vote for. Yeah. I don't really give up who or what you think I should vote for. I'm a performer. I'm here to perform. I get paid to perform. I go home at night and I sleep great on my pillow.
Yeah, that's amazing. And God bless you for having that mindset. You know,
not a lot like me.
Yeah, wish a lot of more people could be like you.
Because they're afraid they won't work anymore. And again, if I should lose a job, and I say this to everybody that's out there that's watching this interview, if you don't want to hire me because of who I am and not how talented I am, well, shame on you. Shame on you. That's 100%. Silly. You know?
Yeah.
I love when they try and get a tough guy out of L.A. to play a wise guy. It don't work. You have to grow up in the street. You got to know that. You can't just invent that. You know, be in a room with real wise guys. Everybody thinks they're a tough guy till a tough guy walks in a room.
Love that
saying. Be in a room with them.
Yeah.
And you won't have to act. You know, I watched it. I've seen it.
Yeah.
You know, I worked in the nightclub business for 15 years, run by wise guys. I met everybody, served John Gotti down. I was just having this conversation. Yeah. I know who they are. I don't have to act like who they are.
You grew up around it. Yeah.
I witnessed it.
It was in your part of your life.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense, but this is why I nail it every time I do it. And I'll be honest, at this part of my life, I don't even want to play wise guys anymore unless I'm a boss. You know, unless I'm somebody like that has some, like Michael Corleone was such a great character because he didn't want to be in the mob, and his father was in the mob, and he got dragged in the mob. It's a great character.
Yeah.
Tony Soprano, another one, conflicted, very, very great character that David Chase created. Those are great characters. Yeah, I love those, and I love playing them. Even Matty the Horse on the Deuce that I played. Amazing character. The guy was a Purple Heart recipient, took out a whole platoon of Japanese that were chopping up the Americans as they were coming up the hill, threw a grenade in, and saved his whole platoon. You don't hear that about these guys. But I found out, I did the digging when I went and researched the characters. And I actually met the guy twice. And then I found out he was a friend of my dad's.
Wow.
So, yeah, there's some reward to doing it. But, you know, if you're going to be an actor, and I'll say this, I can do it now because I have 4 decades of work, 100+ credits. I pick and choose what I want to do. If I don't do the job or I don't take the... In fact, I just told my manager, please don't call me for any of these asinine small jobs anymore. I don't want to do them. You know, I just don't. They want you to self-tape, so you got to set up a background. You got to set up your camera. I got to be the DP, the set dresser, the director. I got to direct myself. How did I do? I don't know. You know, and you got one shot at it, and you got to send it in.
Right.
It's hilarious. The whole industry's changed. It's driving me batshit.
So it's not like it used to be. It was way different years ago.
Oh my God, it was great. You walked in a room, the casting director was there, the writer was there, the director was there. The first time I met Martin Scorsese, I was in awe. I read for Goodfellas. I walked in a room, he was at 30 Rock, I'll never forget. I walk in a room, they hand me the sides of Tony Darrow's role, which was Sonny Bamboo in the movie. I'm reading with the guy who played, I think it was Johnny 2 times. I got to go get the paper.
Yeah.
So it's me and him reading.
Everything twice.
And I'm reading Tony Darrow's character's role, Sonny Bamboo. I read Scorsese's right there. And I'm trying not to look at him at all, and I'm just into the character. And Marty goes, "That was very good, very good, very good." He goes, "I really like you for somebody in this, and actually, it's the lead role." I said, "What lead role?" He said, "Henry Hill." I said, "Oh my God!" So I went out of there. I was floating. He likes me for Henry Hill. Then I found out Ray Liotta's up for Henry Hill.
Yeah.
And Ray wound up getting it. And listen, I love Ray. He was a friend. You rest in peace. The fact of the matter is that I was in the room and I got to read. They told me early on that they were looking at Ray, and I knew once they said it. He had just done this movie, Something Wild, with Melanie Griffith, and he was great in it. So, I mean, if I was casting, I would have cast Ray. But my life would be so much different had I been Ray.
Yeah.
I believe everything's in God's hands sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, everything happens for a reason. Like you said, it's in God's hands, and life goes the way it should, right? I guess you could look at it that way.
Listen, I'm married, I have children, I have a wife, I have a house, I have a car, I have a boat, I have everything in life that I want. I have nobody I have to pay back. I never stole or dealt drugs, I mean, did I do bad things as a kid? Yeah. Maybe I gambled, I took book, whatever the hell. But I never really violated anybody or did anything that I have to worry about or look back on. I know where I'm going when I die. I've been a good man. I've helped people. God, I can't even tell you the amount of actors I've helped. Given them roles, brought them in auditions. I found out today, which I'll talk about when we get to it.
Yeah.
I try to help people because I believe when you put out good, you get back good. If you put out bad, you get back bad.
And that's a great point. I'm a firm believer in that as well. You get what you give. And the way you treat people is the way they'll treat you. And I think you never want to burn bridges. You never want to. You always want to try to keep that good persona where you're trying to help others, and then they'll come back in full circle. I was taught that too growing up.
100%.
Yeah.
That's just how everybody should be. There's so much hate.
Yeah.
Hate. Everybody's hating on everybody. Stop it. Peace, brother. Peace and love. And here I am, like I said. You can tell who I am and who I vote for. I'm preaching peace and love. I'm preaching. Stop the divide. Stop the hate.
Yeah.
I preach that. I preach it to my kids. I preach it to everybody. I got to be honest with you. The internet is TikTok. I think TikTok is evil.
Yeah.
If it was up to me, I'd love to see it burnt to the ground, because all it does is it separates. They put on these horrible videos. A lot of it's propaganda. A lot of it's against everything that you and I believe in.
Yeah. And these kids nowadays too. I mean,
look at the shore. Look what happened down the shore.
Yeah.
All right. You go to a place that we grew up going to, and you make a TikTok, whatever the hell it is. I don't even know what TikTok is. I'm not on it. And they call for unrest or let's have a riot. And there's families down there. And who am I going to blame? I blame the parents. I blame TikTok, and I blame these kids. Yeah. It's got to stop.
Right.
At some point, it's got to stop. This generation, God forbid, they were around when the Vietnam War was going on. We'd all be eating rice.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's different times. I agree with you. I mean, again, I was raised in that old school fashion. Both my grandfathers were in like the 50s, the Korean War, and right after World War II.
Men were men.
Yeah,
they were men. They were men. They went out and they earned, and they came back home, and they tried to bring you up and rear you right as an individual, and we don't have that anymore.
Yeah. They were a tough breed. They really were. I mean, you know, but yeah, that's the way I wish we could kind of bring that back. And like you said, let's be peace. Let's stop the hate, right?
Stop the hate, 100%. Man. Stop the hate. Stop hating on each other. I go out of my way. I'm telling you, out of my way to help people and be kind.
Yeah.
And if you turn around and be an a-hole to me, it's fine. I'll never help you again. Absolutely. I will never tell any of my friends to ever help you again. You pretty much just put a big X on yourself.
Yeah.
So go ahead, go for it. I don't care.
Yeah. That's absolutely. So let's hope we can kind of go on a good path here in the years to come. We need guys like us to change it.
I'm on the back nine of this golf game, bro. I'm on the back nine.
Yeah.
I'm going out in a blaze of glory. I
Absolutely.
am. And I told my kids, I said, I got to leave a legacy for you guys. I don't want ever to hear that your dad was a shithead, an asshole, whatever. Because I'm not that.
Right.
I'm not that. And I've noticed that anybody has ever said things that you found alarming or disconcerting, that they never say it to your face. Yeah. You hear it in the back because nobody got balls either anymore.
That's true. Yeah. What people want to say or they think, they don't want to say it instead of saying it.
Whatever. If I got something to say to you, I'll say it to you.
Yeah.
You know, and
Absolutely.
You'll accept it or not accept it.
So this is just kind of talking with you a little bit, Garry. I mean, your personality, you could tell this translated well into your acting career, right? I mean, just kind of being you, no filter, saying how you feel, and I'm sure that's helped you a lot along the way. And again, you gain a lot of people's respect. So, what were some of the first films you appeared in, or do you remember something, a first call you got to be a part of some sort of film or show, and like you really were excited, or something like, wow, like this is it? Did you have that feeling from the start?
Back in the day, it was mostly films in New York. We didn't do a lot of TV series. A lot of them were, especially me. I mean, you know, I'm olive-skinned. I'm very Italian-looking. And back in the 80s, I think, let's go back to 1981, 82, when I first started. It was, especially soap operas, they were very white, very General Mills. Kind of, you know, they wanted that wholesome look. Yeah. So a guy like me, dark and swarthy, you know, I mean, the whole thing about being like, you know, we're gangsters or I can only be in the mob. I mean, it still goes on now. You're Italian. They don't ever look at me as a doctor. And I could play a doctor. I could play a lawyer. I could play a judge. I could play anybody.
Yeah.
I'm a father. I'm a grandfather. Do I get calls for that? No, because the casting directors think, oh, he's got a vowel on the end of his name. He's mafia. Put him in a mafia file, which is stupid.
Just to kind of go, is that really, and is that how a lot of the directors or people in show business think, really? Is it because they think you're Italian, they automatically associate you with playing those roles?
Of course. I mean, I understand now how people of color, I mean, every Spanish person, did you like being a chain snatcher or a purse snatcher? I mean, how did they feel?
Right.
Or drug dealer. And every black person, I mean, God, they have been stereotyped since the dawn of film.
Yeah, you're right.
You know,
yeah.
and you know, I'm happy to see that there are more people of color that have even shows. I just don't want it to be a competition. Well, now that we got a voice, that now it's all that.
Sure.
You guys we got to work together. That's the bottom line. I write my own movies. I leave a lot of room for many different variables of women, handicapped. I don't care what color, creed you are. I want to create a film, and I love to have that beautiful bouquet of people in it.
Yeah.
You know, there should be. Why do I want to watch a movie with only white people in it? You got to have something wrong with you. That's not the society we live in.
Right.
So I want to see a mix, but it should be a mix. It should be a mix of the melting pot that we are. That's what we are, and that's what the United States is. And if somebody's trying to change that and keep it honest and keep it pure, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
We were going down a dark, dirty hole, and, you know, I'm glad that we're trying to get out of it.
Yeah, it was...
You know, and it's still not, it's not 100%, but you got to understand what's got to happen here. We got to bring peace and love back to this country again. We're doomed. Yeah, and the industry is doomed as well.
Right.
So going back to not get on a tangent, as far as films go, yeah, they were mostly gangster and cop films. I mean, Law and Order, I think I got on the first series in the 90s. So I was either a cop or I was a criminal. You know, you start off doing small bit roles, and then you get the bigger ones, and the bigger ones, and the bigger ones, you know. Most of the 90s, I did a lot of extra work in the 80s only to get on a set and realized I hated extra work. It's grueling, long days, they treat you like crap. It's something I knew I didn't want to do or stay with. Then I got on as an extra and I tried to get upgraded, which I was pretty successful at. So I'd get on, I get close to the director, the assistant director, and they give me a line or two and I got upgraded. I think that happened on Prizzi's Honor, actually, it did.
Oh, wow, okay.
And then I got to meet Jack Nicholson, I got to hang out with Jack Nicholson. I got to take, we went out one night, which was, that's a show in itself.
He's quite the character out of the film.
I love him though. He was great.
Yeah, he's like a quirky, funny guy. Like in his films. That I think he's outside of the films too.
Yeah, but it's led my career, and the choices I made have led to good stuff. I've done some really good stuff, and I continue to do it. And now I write my own stuff. I'm in the process of getting films produced and direct. I may even direct a few. Talking about opening a small studio in Jersey. So there's a lot going on in my life, a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. Throughout your work in your career, are there some things that memorable moments in some film? I mean, we could talk about some. Obviously, there's a lot of you played in a lot of roles, a lot of films, a lot of different things you've done throughout your career. But is there anything that really you can really think of that was a memorable moment, something that you did that really kind of made you feel good?
Well, going back to Columbus again, that restaurant, I met Tony Sirico there, who played Paulie Walnuts.
Yeah.
A very good friend of mine. I met him there around 1987. I started, people started to familiarize themselves with me. They saw me there all the time. I was an actor, but I never went and bothered people about, hey, I'm an actor, get me a job. I didn't do that. A lot of times I met people and they got me jobs. Danny Aiello and I became close. Danny put me in Do the Right Thing. I was one of the cops that killed Radio Raheem at the end. So I'd say at that time period, 88, is when things started to really turn around for me, and a lot of it had to do with working in that restaurant. Not that I went and loitered or put myself out there as an actor. I just kind of stayed in the mix, and let them see me do my thing. There were times there were guys in there that were acting like jerk-offs. I'd have to go in the bathroom, take them, throw them through the window, get them out of the place. I threw one guy in the garbage one night. It was hysterical, and they were all watching. They were clapping because the guy was an idiot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it got me noticed. It got me attention, So yeah, I got to meet Spike Lee, and then Danny put me in there. But there's one guy, Frank Vincent, who played Billy Batts. Very, very dear friend of mine. Not a guy who's gone. I've lost so many.
R.I.P. I know Frank. I don't know him personally, but I know his acting roles.
He's from Belleville.
He played Phil Leotardo in The Sopranos, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Philly Leotardo.
Well, he's the one who got me in with Marty. And Marty Scorsese has pretty much got me up in most of the stuff he's done. He got me in Casino. He got me... Boardwalk Empire.
So you were in The Irishman? Barbershop scene?
Yeah, I played him twice. It's not a big role, but it was Marty, and he calls, I'll do anything he wants me to do. Wolf of Wall Street, he's put me in so many, probably 6-7 films, and my residuals are good, so I'm happy. Thank you, Marty.
Yeah. That's so. I mean, just meeting him and working under his films alone. I mean, that's got to be. Again, I know you're a real humble guy, and you don't really, you're not really starstruck, but you look at someone for their work and you admire it. Look at them as a person. But I mean, working under Marty Scorsese's got to be something pretty cool.
It was cool. I became friends with his old man because his father was always on the set, so I used to hang out, talk to Charlie. May he rest in peace. And I got to meet his mom, and then I got to work with Catherine, his daughter. I produced a movie for Dominica Scorsese called Almost Paris. I've been pretty close to the Scorsese clan for a while. Marty's a New York guy. And Frank Vincent introduced me, and from that I met Joe Pesci. And Joe Pesci and I we became one big kind of happy family. You know, I met Bobby. I worked with him a few times. I did a Bronx Tale with him. Bobby's a standoffish guy, but those other guys they're real comrades. You know, Danny Aiello, Frankie, Joe Pesci. Those are real, and Tony Sirico. Oh my God, Jimmy Gandolfini. Another, bro. I'm telling you, the heartbreak. Yeah. I just watched something. Chucky Zito just did a documentary, and I'm watching it, and all my buddies are in it, and they're all dead. You know, it was really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Which is why I said I'm on a back nine. Not a good time to piss me off.
but you live with the memories, and you cherish that you were able. I mean, in your lifetime, you were able to have those relationships.
Absolutely.
And they kind of fuel you, and they push you forward to continue your work. Right?
Absolutely.
And that's something that you always remember.
Absolutely.
So that's amazing. I mean, you worked with some of the great of the greats we see on TV.
John Huston from Fritzy's Honor, the guy, he was directed John Wayne films. I mean, you know, I got a legacy. I really, really do. And I'm proud of my background. And it's so weird. I was just talking to my buddy John, who drove here with me. And I was saying, I can't believe how many people never go out of their way to at least vet me and see what I've been in and what I've done and how many films I've worked on, how long I've been in the industry. And not that I was just an actor. I worked at a stagehands union for almost 30 years.
Right.
And I've done everything. I was a grip. I was a prop. I did special effects. I was a carpenter.
Yeah.
I helped build sets. I helped take them down. I helped decorate them.
And you were a stuntman too, right? I
was a stuntman for a long time.
Yeah.
As I say, I fell into it. Actually, I think my first stunt job was Do the Right Thing. Danny got me a job in it, and there was that riot scene, and I was scared shitless because there was 150 mean African Americans chasing this cop down the block after Radio got killed. Yeah, it was a pretty hectic scene. You know, there was a lot of tension because there was a lot going on at that time as well. Right. Spike Lee was great at making that pot sizzle, and he did it on that set. You know, but again, from these movies, I made great friendships and relationships, and work begets work. I will tell actors now, I feel bad for actors that come into the business now. They got it rough. There's only a few crumbs, and this whole thing with these what do you call them, influences? They're not actors. Take it easy. You're not an actor. You did not study. You did not put in the time or the effort that many actors have. And a lot of actors like myself, we find it insulting that you would even consider yourself an actor. You're not an actor.
Right.
Go to school. Go do a bunch of movies. Go out there and really, do what we did.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times I couldn't eat. I didn't have money for this. I didn't have money for that. But I survived because I always worked. These guys, some of them, they have these illusions of grandeur. They don't have to go to work. They're going to be an actor. Are you nuts? Are you crazy?
No,
So now they have this influence thing. They got, 2 million.
Social media. Yeah.
Social media. They got 2 million visitors to their site.
TikTok,
and they make money. And
Instagram.
that doesn't make you an actor.
Right.
You're hot for now. What happened to Hot Tour Girl? She disappeared.
Yeah.
She gone.
All from saying something stupid when she was drunk. You believe that?
Yeah, she was cute. She had a great personality.
Yeah,
I actually wanted to see her go somewhere because I liked the personality.
She was a nice, wholesome,
she was a wholesome girl. Yeah, funny.
Yeah.
She reminded me of somebody we meet at DJ's about 50 years ago. Not 50, all right, 40.
But see, like you said, some can go viral, or what you call viral. It can be hot for a while, and then it can kind of die off. But I feel like when you put the time in and you're an actor, there's longevity there because you studied and you came up. Especially in your instance, you started from scratch somewhere and you made a great name and career for yourself. And
I did.
Yeah. But you worked hard to get there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You met people along the way through that, which again they always say it's not always what you know, but it's who you know. But then again, the hard work is put in there too. You meet people throughout your career who are great relationships to have, but then again, you put in the grunt, you put in all that work, which kind of equals itself out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking to you about the Dylan film. What was it called?
Bob Dylan, the one in Cape May that was filmed.
Yeah, well, I forgot the name of it.
What was that called?
It's part of his song.
Yeah. We'll put it in the interview. We'll have my editor pull it up.
Okay, but Regina Graves was the set decorator. Great friend of mine. I worked with her, worked under her. Love her. The fact that she got kudos from that is to me amazing. There's so many people, again, that I've met in my life that I absolutely adore in this business. And there's some people that I just can't stand. Harrison Ford, a great guy. Brad Pitt, another great guy. I met so many actors that are endearing and warm people, and my love goes out to them. Yeah. But I think that what they liked about me is me.
Yeah.
I'm a real guy. I'm a real man. I'm a straight shooter.
Yeah.
I always said I wish I was born probably 20 years ago, and I could have been in the old Hollywood with the old tough guys, Robert Mitchum and all of those, Anthony Quinn.
Like the classic films, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like On the Waterfront, Marlon Brando.
Yes,
like
Marlon Brando.
Those kind of that era,
guys, yeah. I mean, I probably would have got on great with them.
Remember James Cagney?
Oh, yeah.
My dad loved him when he was a kid. My dad said my great-grandfather, his grandfather, used to watch James Cagney all the time.
Jimmy Cagney, yeah. Those were guys that just didn't take shit. Paul Newman, there were dozens that did. Lee Marvin, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Favorite of mine. You know why? He was a man.
Yeah.
He was.
Those were cool guys. Those like you said, I know this was way before my time, but those, growing up as a kid, my dad would put these films on, and like you said, and you were younger too watching these films, but those guys, like you said, were men's men.
They were men's men,
and they were great actors too, man.
Great actors. Listen, I like a lot of new actors.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, not taking anything away from new actors.
Yeah, Brad's a great actor.
Yeah.
I can go on and on. I love the two guys from Ben Affleck and.
His brother's an actor too, right?
Yes, he's a very good actor also. What's Ben's friend's name? Good Will Hunting. My brain is shot, and I've worked with him.
Oh, Good Will Hunting. I don't know. I'm drawing blanks today too. I know these, but I know you're saying, yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, we'll pull these up in the interview too. Yeah, so we know who we're talking.
He's great. It'll come to me because I did a movie with him. But any of those guys that Mark Wahlberg, another,
yeah,
these are all guys that are now we're all the same age. And I think Tom Cruise is 62 now. I worked with him. We're all around the same
Top
age
Gun
now.
and all those.
It's
movies.
amazing. I can't believe I'm the same age as Brad Pitt and Tom and all of these guys. We're all in that category.
Yeah, they're all in that. Yeah. A lot of those Boston actors too, like Mark Wahlberg's a Boston guy.
Yes, he is.
Matt Damon's a Boston guy.
Matt Damon, that's what I wanted to say.
That's what I just came to mind. Matt Damon.
Yeah, Matt's funny and he was great. Yeah. I worked with him on A Good Shepherd. Yeah, he's a good guy. These are all good guys.
Yeah, that's amazing. You were able to share, some time with them, work with them, and they probably, you probably learned some things along the way, like too, and kind of in the acting business, right? It goes a long way.
Well, brother, I was on a set every day for 40 years, either in front of the camera, around the camera, or behind the camera. So, every day I went to work, I got an education. And that makes me a very viable producer because I know what everybody's supposed to be doing every minute of the day. You're going to set up a camera shot. It shouldn't take you 3 hours out of a 10-hour day that it took you 3 hours to set up a shot, and I only can shoot now 6 because I got a break for lunch. Right. So, I know this stuff, and it's good for me, and it's good for my future as I become the filmmaker that I'm going to be too.
And I'd like to talk about some of that stuff you're working on as well. So are there some things that you're allowed to mention that you have in the works? And
I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Love to hear some of that stuff for our audiences.
Sorry, I needed a sip.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've been working on, I write, and I'm pretty prolific at it because I've read a lot of crap over the years. So I try and write for genre. I try and write for a target audience. Unfortunately, with the film business nowadays, it's reduced to the small screen. There is no there is no big screen anymore. I mean, unless you're going to do a Marvel movie.
Right.
You know, and you got to start to think along the lines of being an independent creator. So, that said, I write for independent films. I try to write and keep genres around $1.5 million budgets.
Wow.
Now, I know I have actor friends that would love to do a $1.5 million budget with me, provided it's a good script and we have a good crew, you know, and it's good material. Because at the end of the day, I think that's what any actor wants to do. They want to work on something that is they can sink their teeth into.
Sure.
They don't want to just, like me. I mean, how much mafia crap can I do? If you're not going to make me a boss at this point, if there's not something intriguing or fun about the character, I don't want to play him. I'm not going to do it. I don't do it for the money. I never have.
Right.
You know, as far as I'm concerned right now, I'm a retired crew member. I had a bad car accident a couple of years ago. I was forced into retirement. You know, pretty much I'm disabled. I cannot do stunt work anymore. Absolutely not. I got plates and screws and everything else on my back.
So are you able to? Do you do any acting roles at all? Or
yeah, I can. Yeah. I'm not going to go jumping out a window anymore. I mean, I could probably do a little stunt driving, although I'm sure I'd probably be forebode about it. I think that, you know, that part of my life is done. I have about, 40 stunt credits, maybe more. A lot of it came from Danny Aiello Jr. He's passed too. All the Aiellos are pretty much gone. But that opened the door, and I worked with this one and that one and this one and that one. I did Cowboy Way and Spider-Man and Godzilla, and what else did I do that was crazy? Dark Knight Rises. I've got a I got a SAG, what do you call it? Award. Participant trophy. Yeah. I mean, is there anything else that you wanted to ask as far as film work goes?
Yeah, I mean,
I know we're going to run out of time.
Well, so. Yeah, we have a couple minutes left here. We're going to wrap it up, but I wish we'll have to do this again because this is very interesting and I love speaking with you. I mean, you have an amazing story, and you know, you've really been around in your career and people you met. And
I don't like to talk about myself.
Yeah.
If you look at my business card, it says it has my name and Google on it, and people go, "You work for Google?" I go, "No." You want to know what I did? Google me. All the information's there.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like to talk about myself. People go, "What movies you been in?" Google me. What TV show? Google me. Yeah. I don't even know.
I didn't ask you what movies you've been in. I don't think I asked you what movies you've been in. Hopefully I didn't.
No, you haven't, and I don't mind. You know, I mean, this is why I'm here.
Right.
But I'm not here to self-promote. I'm not here to gloat, self-promote. I'm obviously no narcissist.
Yeah.
I'm not here talking about myself. I talk about the business, and I talk about, you know, how I think other people should approach the film business or approach an actor.
Absolutely. So as a film writer and some things you're working on, are there some things that my audience should look out for?
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sanctuary is about a crab fisherman. He's either going to be from, I'm trying to do Maryland, but I'd really like to shoot in New Jersey. He befriends this little boy that comes through the border. He hangs around his boatyard, and the kid's Spanish. He hardly speaks English. He's about 10 years old. And some dirty things have happened with this child, and the crab fisherman takes him under his wing, and the guys that are going to do him harm, he winds up murdering, so he's on trial for his life. But it takes place around the southern parts of, if we do like say southern Jersey, I want it to be in an old boatyard, rustic. I'm actually going to play the crab fisherman and the beard. I'm looking to shoot it this summer.
Oh, great. Okay.
And it's called Sanctuary. And then after that, my film The Lunatics, which is about detectives in New Jersey. Also, I want to shoot that in the wintertime because of the look. I want it to be gritty, like a 70s cop show.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. And what else is there to tell you?
Some things that we could, these are upcoming things that we could check out, and some movies.
Oh, yeah, once they come out, yes.
Sure.
Of course, I'm going to start posting about them. I just don't do it before I got to make sure it happens before I'm going to start talking about it. What happened today is the show I'll say it again, First Shift, very hard to say. It was on Showtime, and it was on Paramount Plus and it trended at five or less for 20 weeks. So it was either number one most watched or the fifth, I think, was the least. So I got a call from the director that we shot one episode. Now we're going to do 2 and 3, and we start shooting that in September.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I'll be calling some people to possibly audition. What else is going on? I was in One Bright River, as people know. That was about Kensington and a serial killer. Very good show, by the way. Amanda Seyfried's in it, and it's on Peacock. You could see me in that. First Shift is still on. You could watch that. There's a movie I did called Silent Partners, which just came out, written by Ciro DiPaggio and and Jay Bishop, directed by George Yokes. It's a really good movie. I was really pleasantly surprised how it came out.
And Silent Partners is on what platform we could watch that on?
It's on not Paramount. I'm sorry, Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime Video. Okay.
Yeah, James Russo, Nick Villalonga, myself, Mike Marino, the comedian.
Yeah, Mike's a good friend.
I got Mikey a part in that. He's great, and I love working with him. He's a good man. He's also a neighbor.
Yeah, you guys are right up there in Jersey.
Yeah, we're about not even a mile away from each other.
Yeah, he's up. I remember I did his show up there with him, and we did my show too. But took a ride up the Parkway.
Yeah, he's a wonderful guy.
Mike's a good guy.
Really good guy. So I got those happening. So I got work happening. I did a movie called Moments of Youth. I play a football coach. It's about a scavenger hunt at the end of high school, and there's a big prize. It's like $100,000. So these kids all try and undermine each other. It's very funny. That'll be coming out, and Sherry O'Teary plays my wife in it.
Oh, okay.
And I'm Greek. My name is Coach Pops. So I've never heard of a Greek football coach. I thought it was fun.
So you have to have an accent in that movie,
Of course
too?
I do this. Yeah. I can do pretty much any accent.
That's amazing.
Pretty much anyone.
Part of being a talented actor, you got to be able to improvise any kind of anything.
Chameleon.
Yeah.
You know, you want to change it up. I always tell actors, don't get stuck in that thing.
Yeah.
You know, change it up. Change it up. Do something. Dare to be different. You know, whatever. And I played everything. I was a drag queen in one thing. I think the most uncomfortable part was that I looked like my mom after they put the makeup on, which really made me uncomfortable. and I have to put on those stupid shoes. Not something I don't think I would ever do again. Yeah. It was a comedy.
Right, sure.
That and nude scenes, I don't recommend doing them. I did one in the Adam Sandler film the week of, which I did not know when I got cast in it that I had this. I was reading the script and I went, what?
Yeah, you don't find out too. That's nothing about acting. Sometimes you don't find out what you're going to do until you actually get on the set. Is that true or no? They give you...
well, what happened is they gave me the sides. I read the sides for the casting director. Casting director sent it to the director. I got cast like before I left the city. This is when you used to go in and actually have an audition. And, you know, it was kind of shocking as I'm reading the script, and, you know, the part was great. But then I says he's on the desk making love to his secretary. They went, what? Naked, you know.
So, well, no, I mean, good luck with. I mean, all these films are coming out. We're gonna keep an eye out for them, and you know, when they start making more headway, you know, I'll promote some things for you.
Well, I think after I do, you know, Sanctuary, like I said, it's a Jersey movie basically, and so is The Lunatics. As I get them done, and I have some info on it, I'll let you know. First Shift is going to be back, so I'm happy to hear that. I got the news today, and I know that fans will want to see that. My character gets very developed and big in it, so I'm kind of happy. Life's good, man.
God bless you. That's great. If you ever need if you're looking for a role, anybody's tall, a big guy, I might know one.
Yeah, I have to put you in a basketball coach. You'd be a great basketball coach or a football coach. That'd be great. I wrote a movie about football called Fortunate Son. These are all things I got to get done before I die, so I got to keep the ball rolling.
Absolutely. Well, it was a pleasure talking with you, Gary. I can't believe we ran out of time. We're going to have to get together again.
I can't believe that either.
It was quick. You know.
Yeah. Well, it was like coffee talk. It was like two guys talking. Like we could have done this at the pub.
Absolutely, but I'll definitely have you on again, and we're going to stay connected, and we'll follow you out through your next few films, and it's a pleasure. I appreciate it.
I look forward to it, my friend.
Thank you for having me on.
Pleasure, brother.
Thank you for having you on.
Thank you.
Anytime. So that's it. The Big Man's Report Live podcast. This is this week's episode. I'd like to thank my main man, Garry Pastore. You can see all his films. And Garry, real quick, do you want to plug your Instagrams and all your social medias?
Garry, GARRY_PASTORE at IG. I forgot what I am. Just look me up on Facebook.
Just look him up on Google.
Actually, just
Facebook.
Google all the info's on Google.
Yeah.
I have some clips and stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
And by all means, go ahead, go watch them. Familiarize yourself with this face. It's not over yet.
Absolutely. But want to thank you again for coming on. Great show. Tune into Garry Pastore's work. See him on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. He's got amazing things in the work that's coming out soon to come. So stay tuned again. And I'll see you next time here on the Big Man's Report Live. Instagram at The Big Man Show Live. On YouTube, the Big Man's Report Live podcast. And we are also working to get on Spotify in the weeks to come. So all my shows will be available on my Spotify channel. So stay tuned to that. Until next time, the Big Man's Report Live. I am your host, Blake Rossell. See you guys soon. Thank you.